Well, hi there. Warm welcome. You're watching Blueprint Explosive Exclusive and I'm Meghna Deka. Viewers, we are going to ask you a simple question. Kaun banega American citizen? Well, that's right. It appears that education is not a criteria. Skills, not a criteria. Only criteria is money. Yes, that's right, honey. Money is all that counts. Well, if you happen to have $5 million to spare, it can be your golden ticket to getting a much-coveted American green card. United States President Donald Trump has announced the launch of a new program. It's called the Gold Card Visa, which is essentially a green card, but for 5 times the current price. He in fact calls it a fantastic idea. So let's tell you a bit about Trump's fantastic idea. Well, Trump's new Gold Card Visa is priced at about $5 million and grants it to anyone who pays the fees, instant permanent residency with an easier pathway to citizenship. And this essentially expedites the entire process than what it was. It is being primed to replace the existing visa, which is EB-5 visa, where you had to invest a minimum of at least $8,000 on top of other factors as well to obtain a green card. Essentially, we're going to be telling you what the difference between this EB-5 visa is and what this latest golden ticket, the golden card, which has now come in for a green card. So take a listen before we do that and explain how things will be changing from here onwards. This is why Trump says this is a fantastic idea. Listen in.
We're going to be selling a gold card. You have a green card. This is a gold card. We're going to be putting a price on that card of about $5 million, and that's going to give you green card privileges plus. It's going to be a route to citizenship. And wealthy people will be coming into our country by buying this card. They'll be wealthy, and they'll be successful, and they'll be spending a lot of money and paying a lot of taxes and employing a lot of people. And we think it's going to be extremely successful. A lot of people are going to want to. A lot of people are going to want to be in this country, and they'll be able to work and provide jobs and build companies and pay taxes. All of those things. It's an incredible. It's an incredible thing.
It's an incredible thing because a lot of wealthy people are going to be coming into America. So let's really take a look at how the entire scheme now changes. The Yojana now changes from the EB-5 to the current gold card. Well, under the EB-5, we have split it in this way. This is the earlier EB-5 visa, and this, of course, is the golden card which is being offered by Trump. When it comes to investments, the first pointer, we are going to go back to the first pointer when it comes to investments. Under the EB-5 visa, you would be liable to pay anywhere between $800,000 to $1 million to get the EB-5 visa. When it comes, however, to the golden card, it is $5 million. So it's 5 times, a bit more than 5 times to get started. So, of course, it's going to be much more expensive. Under the EB-5, the second pointer, under the EB-5, you would also be required to create 10 jobs in the country with the pathway to citizenship between 5 to 7 years. Essentially, it will take you about 5 to 7 years to get to this mark, and after you have 10 employees, you are likely to take another 5 to 7 years to get a green card from there onwards. However, with the golden card visa, the requirement to create jobs has been waived off completely. You don't need to create any jobs in America, but you get an instant pathway to citizenship. Also, the backlog. What is the backlog like? And it's very important. This is what I just explained, the path to citizenship, 5 to 7 years when it comes to the EB-5, and on the other hand, it is 0 waiting time with a golden ticket. But when it comes to the backlog for Indians, and this is an important statistic for us to understand, the backlog for Indians specifically over a decade long, but the golden card visa guarantees that you will not be stuck in the backlog anymore. It's essentially fast tracking to a green card mode. But viewers, who can really afford such a hefty price? That's the first thing we are all wondering. $5 million, do you have that? Well, I certainly don't. When you convert it into rupees, it comes roughly to 43.5 crore rupees. So how many in India can afford this in the first place? In India, this gold card visa is accessible to less than 1% of the people. This is actually 0.05% of India can actually afford it. Imagine, look at this figure. This is very important. 0.05% of India alone can afford this golden visa. Also, let's look at it factually. It is roughly, in India, we have 8 lakh millionaires and about 200 billionaires. We rank about 14th globally when it comes to the number of millionaires. And when it comes to billionaires, then we rank number 3 globally. Not very bad. But again, the percentage of people who can actually afford it comes down to a very, very insignificant amount of 0.05. It's very evident that if you want to dream the American dream, you're going to have to cough up the big bucks. Well, let's also have a look at the current status of green card applications. In 2024, there were over 34 million applications which were sent for green card. There you have it on your screens. Why are we talking about it? Because you must understand what this means. This golden ticket would mean to the skilled Indians as well. But when it comes to this, only 3% of this number is ever likely to actually obtain residency of America, as there are about 1.1 million card cap which was set in 2024. That's a cap which has been sent by the American government. No more than 1.1 million can actually get it. When it comes to India specifically, by December 2024, which was just a few months back, there were over 1 million Indians who were still left in a limbo, still awaiting that green card because they are caught in the backlog. The Congressional Research Service has estimated that by 2030, there will be 22 lakh Indians who are going to be stuck in the backlog by 2030. Imagine, that's the number, the staggering numbers. How long for the entire backlog to be cleared? As per the stats, 195 years to clear the entire backlog of people who are waiting to get that green card. So let me go across to our panelists. Joining us today on the show, we have David Sofair, a Republican strategist, joining us live from Florida. We also have Mark Merowitz, who is joining us, a political analyst and professor at the State University of New York in the Maritime College of New York. Thank you so much, both of you gentlemen, for joining us. David Sofair, I'm going to start with you. It's interesting because Trump has been talking about how the doors are always open for those who are educated, those who are skilled. But right now it seems that the criteria has been made very simple. It doesn't matter if you're educated or skilled. It only matters if you have the wealth. No fear of migrants as long as you're wealthy. Is that going to be the state policy?
No, absolutely not. We are looking now at, excuse me, I'll just fix the screen here. We are looking very closely at merit-based immigration, and we are shifting away from penalizing the American people through tax and bureaucracy and the illegal and unsafe immigration policy of the last administration. We are clearing up things. So the EB-5 visa has been around in America for a long time, and that has created a lot of jobs. This one will be a bit more stringent, but we are very excited about it. It will promote a lot of new immigrants that will have a pathway to citizenship in a safe way. We are cleaning up the immigration crisis we have. We are cleaning up the bureaucracy and tax crisis we have, and of course the crime crisis that we've inherited from the Democrats, which has been a very, very big problem in sanctuary cities.
But the presupposition is that wealthy migrants don't commit crimes. Just to get it right.
So illegal migrants have committed a lot of crimes, and we also have a crime problem in the States, which has to do with, which is domestic and foreign actors in that as well. So we do have a crime crisis in our major cities in the United States, and New York is a very, very big problem. And we have New York crimes, gone through the roof. Now, I'm not saying that's an immigrant crime problem. I'm saying it's a huge illegal immigrant crime problem that we have there. So we are looking at ways to raise our tax revenue and make America export again. Our real goal is to make America a safe country, a net exporter, and relieve the tax burden off the American person. So we're making America safe again. We are making America rich again. And we are making the world peaceful again. We see peace breaking out in the world again. And this is one of our strategies there. So now this is just one of the programs. There will be the talks, or there will be other programs that are also merit-based.
So you're saying that
education-based as well. But
it's going to be merit-based, but not wealth-based. But this one is going to be wealth-based, which brings me to Mark Merowitz. Mark Merowitz.
This is wealth-based. That's correct.
It's going to be wealth-based. Business is back as the topmost policy decider, it seems. But what about those people who've been waiting, some of them for about a decade? For example, even Indians, when we are looking at. The backlogs have been so great that for an EB-5 visa, there are Indians who have been waiting for the last 10 years. What does it mean for the skilled labor? Forget about the wealthy ones. They can afford it well and good. What about the skilled workers and the migrants who are going in from India as well as the rest of the world? Does it spell trouble for
on
them?
those legal ones, that is not absolutely that. So those are all in course. So those will not be, and it's important to state this out, those will not be wiped out or cancelled at this time because they are pending. And that
so they are pending, they'll continue, is what David Sofer is saying. So they are pending, that process continues parallelly, I believe, is what David is saying. Mark, would you like to weigh in?
Okay, thank you. Finally, I'd like to respond first to my colleague's points and also answer your question. First of all, and this is quite apart from the fact that I am a supporter of President Trump. However, I have to say that this program is very, very puzzling to me. First of all, it's sort of like you're on a roller coaster here. Every day there's a new program. And this one, the problem with it is as follows. And I certainly agree with the idea of improving the immigration process. But the question is, does this do it? First of all, what the president's saying is this is going to reduce the deficit by bringing in all this money. And with the point that you made about the backlog, it seems a little questionable that that's true. And the EB-5 was approved by Congress, and the president wants to cancel that program and bring this one in, but you have the backlog and Congress has to do that. So that is a big problem. But the thing that came up in the press conference with the president and with the Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, was how do you verify, is there going to be fraud? And then they asked the president, are there going to be oligarchs? And the president's response was, oh yeah, there'll be oligarchs. I know a lot of oligarchs, they're very, very nice. So the point is that this program, while I think it's well-meaning to bring in, investment into the United States, the question will be the implementation of it. And I would also say about the bureaucracy, which was referred to before, that the tendency now with the DOGE is to reduce the bureaucracy appreciably in the federal government and take away administrators who handle programs and processing of applications. So to sum up the point, which is the intention here is very meritorious. The implementation of it, both legally and realistically, is, I believe, very, very problematic. And also about the millionaires. I want to say one last point, if I may. The optics of this is, I think, a bit problematic because, the Democrats, the media, their criticism always is that the administration has millionaires and billionaires and they're tech billionaires and these people are sitting at the inauguration. And then the president introduces a program to bring in more millionaires to give them a path to citizenship when there are many people out there of less means who are legally seeking to become legal immigrants in this country, which the president has emphasized that that's our intention, is to increase legal immigration and to stop criminals from emigrating. If that's the optics here, I don't think that will be good for the Republican Party in the next election for the House. It's going to be the same mantra, millionaires, billionaires, Elon Musk, and bringing in millionaires. So, yes. Is
that what happened? That's a very interesting observation that you've made. Because clearly there are those within the Republican folds who are also questioning some of these changes which have been brought in, some of the orders. David, would you like to respond to what exactly it is that Mark has said, that essentially it's Musk and other billionaires having a free run, even if it means oligarchs?
Sure. So, those were excellent points. And I agree with some of them. And it will be very interesting in 2 years to see how the GOP performs in the House. The idea that, we're the only party that, quote, cozies up to millionaires and billionaires is not the case. If you look at the former administration, I mean, they were practically, Mark Zuckerberg actually, it was a big billionaire. He cozied up to the last administration in a very, very big way. So did Jeff Bezos through the media and suppressing public information and spreading, for lack of a better term, disinformation. So, I think that will come up, but this is a unique time in America where the majority of the country has a shared goal and a shared interest, and that is curbing massive and rampant inflation, lowering the crime rate, and making America strong again. Okay. So I really feel like once those things are achieved and we get the ebbs and flows of legal immigration, back to where it should be in a safe way.
I think no one's got any problem with legal immigration. I believe countries across the globe, including India, have always been in favor of legal, systematic immigration. Mark Merovitz, I have about 30 seconds left. Closing comments. But should money and wealth be the only criteria?
Well, we have the EB-5 program, and that was approved by Congress, and that Congress's will is the legislature, so that's good. What you may end up coming here is really a revision and an updating of the EB-5 program and fixing it and making it more workable, clear the backlog, bring in or maybe change the range or bring in something in that subject, but to cancel EB-5 and bring in the gold card, green card at this point, I think doesn't really, may not work really in the real world when you're cutting the bureaucracy.
And also bureaucracy heavy is one of the fears that Mark Merovitz has also raised. If you want to cut down the bureaucracy, are you actually increasing it by some of these orders? Well, time will tell. Thank you so much, David Sofair, as well as Mark Merovitz, for joining us here on the show. I appreciate it, as always, to have your viewpoint on this. Of course, both of you may be on both sides of the table when it comes to this one. It's interesting to see how things are going to pan out for the American Indians there. Well, with that, a short break. Don't go anywhere.